What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today, to start things off, we're once again going to open 3 2-player packs, and then I'm going to talk about whether or not I want to do the Enter the Underworld and Davy Jones Locker SBCs. I sold all of my Plymouth players, all of my Lincoln players, all of my Cali players, America de Cali players, and the 2 Orlando Pirates players I had, and I made about 150,000 coins off of selling those. Right now, to complete this SBC for a Prime Players pack, you're looking at about 15 to 18,000 coins for a pack that isn't even worth more than that. So I don't see the value in completing it. I'd be better off selling my players and buying a pack. You know, that would be the best thing. And then the same thing for Davy Jones Locker. To get 2 Plymouth or Argyle players, you're looking at about 8k a pop, maybe 7k a pop. So that's going to be like 14k. Plus the rest of the squad that you need to put together. You're going to spend about 18,000 coins for a 15k pack. So it just doesn't make any sense. If it was accompanied by a kit that was like a cool looking exclusive kit, I might have considered it. I might have been like, alright, well I actually get a kit that I can't get any other way, but I could just buy a Jumbo Premium Gold pack at any time that I want. So I'm not doing those. Now in terms of the transfer market, sadly and stupidly, you will see some of it in this video right after game 20 in FUT Champs. But yeah, because I do bronze pack method so much, I continually just clear the bronze players that I sell. And I sold all of the 8k, 10k players and then just cleared it off. And I think I only got a batch of 1 or 2 of them where you can see me making an obscene amount of profit. But with that being said, you can just open bronze packs for yourself and take a look at how easy it is to make profit. Now, the bronze 750 coin packs, they were really good because of the starter marquee matchups, because every shiny bronze was selling for a considerable amount. The problem we've got now as we move on to these 750 coin packs is that they're actually not super valuable anymore because so many people have completed marquee matchups that there's far less demand for the shiny players needed for it. Which means in terms of bronze packs, I think 400 coin bronze packs are more efficient again. The only thing I would say about opening the 750 coin bronze packs is it gives you a bigger chance to get the Screamer Ampadu or Ampadu. So it's entirely, it's entirely your prerogative. What I will say though, and I'll go and show you guys in the club real quick as well, is that I get considerably more squad fitness cards from shiny bronze packs than I do from any other pack. I think I'll have somewhere around 25 to 30, I think, there you go, 29. That shows how many packs I've opened, and I only have 159 individual fitness cards, which shows how rare these cards are. So, I've even got 187 here. I've got like, 300,000 coins worth of squad fitness cards right there if I sell them right. I've got 520k in the bank. I've got a whole bunch of other investments and coins and such going on. And I'm in a good spot to the point where I'm really waiting for EA to drop an SBC that is going to benefit me really well. When we talk about my team again, we're using the same team for the 3rd week in a row. Well, that's not true. I've got Juanfran in the squad now and Thomas Partey, but the bulk of the same team. And I've still got the same problems. I really need a really quality CDM. I need a really quality goalkeeper, and I'm just not getting them. So, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people are saying, maybe it's time to get away from the first owner road to glory. Maybe it's time to go and take into consideration a regular road to glory now and delve into that. I don't want to do that this early. I genuinely would rather, and hey, this is me honestly not giving away where I'm getting to this week because I am in a good spot, but I would genuinely rather finish gold 2 or gold 1 every week if it meant I could do the first owner road to glory for the course of the year until I got those upgrades and then slid into elite, if at all sliding into elite, than going out there, spending the 800,000 coins that I've got on upgrading my team and then starting to bang into elite again and just being like, well, that was too easy, and that's the problem. That's why we veered away from the regular road to glory and into the first owner road to glory. It was to make it harder. It was to make the journey longer. And if that means that I have to suffer on the way there, I'm happy to suffer. But anyway, 3 more 2 rare gold player packs, guys, before we get into some gameplay. Can we get any luck at all? I don't know. Can we? No board out of this one. I actually did one. I did record it as well, so you will see it. Well, I'm gonna kind of guess throw it, like give away what it was, but I got a 50k, 40k, 50k player in one of the 2-player upgrade packs that wasn't even a board. So look out for that in a little bit later on in the video. In our second pack here, doesn't look like we're gonna get anything here either. We get boards actually. Anyone good? French, good start. Centre back. Man City, it's Laporte. We already have Laporte, sadly, but we'll send him into the club and we'll send the other one. Oh, I hope it is a tradable. Otherwise, could be in trouble here. It is tradable. Happy days. So we'll send him up to the trade pile. And then Kvela is also tradable. Very nice indeed. So that leaves us with one more 2-player pack before we get into the gameplay. No walkout here. I'm struggling to get the Screamer cards out of these packs, guys. No board here either. Italian, Cam. Oh, it's Vasquez. That's not good at all. That's tough. But it's a few more gold shinies into the club. He's 82 rated. That's not the worst. If he is untradeable duplicate, I will go and build another pack. He's not. He's another tradable. So there we go with that, guys. So that is what we're at right now. Obviously, huge profit made this episode from the bronze pack method. We're over 500,000 coins, and just give you an idea of what we've still got in terms of the club. You already saw the trade pile. You already saw the fitness cards. And then in terms of players that I've got sellable, 3 informs, Ibra, Fekir. We packed Mkhitaryan from draft. A whole bunch of 83s. A whole bunch of 82s on top of that. And these are all tradable cards, So, the account is in a really strong spot for when an SBC comes. And speaking of SBCs, I know I said, I didn't say I wouldn't do Royce. I said I think I'd do Royce if his price came down to about 350 or lower. His price is coming down. Not quickly and not by much, but it's coming down. It's now down to 400,000 coins. And the reason why that does interest me is because he can actually fit into my starting lineup. I've got UCL Dortmund left back, can't remember who. So I can literally put Royce where Lucas is, soft links to Sané, soft links to Trezeguet, and then I could just put the Bundesliga left back in here from Dortmund. So if we have a look at the Bundesliga, as I say, it's one of the so there you go, UCL Guerrero. Now UCL Guerrero is not as good as Mendy, but Mendy also isn't great for me. Mendy is actually one of the weak spots in the team. Week 1, he wasn't one of the weak spots in the team. But week 3, week 4, I mean, you could just see by those stats. He has 2 stats in dark green, and that's sprint speed and crossing, and he is a defender. So that's obviously an issue. That's obviously a problem. So I need to upgrade Mendy. I need to upgrade Nacho. I need to upgrade Adan. I need to upgrade Partey. Putting Royce in the squad might make no difference. Might make a huge difference. As I say, we can. I could potentially complete it for relatively cheap. The benefit is it's there for another 12 days, so we've got a whole bunch more rewards. But the reason why I could potentially complete it quite easily is because in terms of my untradables, I have a lot of high-rated untradables that I could easily dump into this SBC. I mean a lot as well, that wouldn't really make that much of an impact to the club in general. So we've got, obviously you need an 86 rated I think here. I could probably get close to completing this 86 rated squad with a lot of my untradables. And then obviously we've got a whole bunch of 83s and 82s for untradables. And the 86 rated, I believe, is the most expensive one at 182. And then the Bundesliga is expensive at 140. So if the 86 rated is 182,000 coins, and I can do maybe for under 80,000 coins, I'm shaving 100,000 coins off of that total value. So I'm going to be able to complete Royce for under 300k. And then in terms of the other ones, I have got a lot of 84s and 85s. Now, I really love Handanovic to be in my main squad. We could easily give him a chem style that boosts his diving, handling, and positioning. Get him up to 99 diving, 99 handling, 99 positioning, 89 reflexes. Happy days. But if I don't get someone to link him, I'm better off just doing whatever I want to do, really, aren't I? I'm better off just doing it, like maybe building the squad. Let's actually see if we put in a whole bunch of players. Let's see what kind of setup we're at. I don't think the chemistry is going to be quite there, but we'll pop in all the 80, basically everything I've got here, and we'll see what rating we're away. We're going to be close to an 86 here. That is insane. That was not expected. And there you go, guys. I actually might be able to. Apologies, this video is going to get really long. I'm already so that's an 85 rated squad I've got as an untradable. All I'm missing is a Dortmund player, and it being 86 rated in the chemistry. But generally speaking, I'm very close to having an untradeable 86 rated squad, which is great. We of course get a Prime Gold Players Pack for this as well, and it would save 200,000 coins into Marco Reus. For the other ones, you know, the full Borussia Dortmund squad, I think that's actually quite a cheap one to complete, the Borussia Dortmund squad. That's like 35k. The Marco Reus one is 45k, and again, I'd be able to do these guys with a whole bunch of untradables too. And then it just leaves the Bundesliga at 140 and the Player of the Month at 200. So if I could completely negate the price of the Player of the Month, I'd be able to do this Marco Reus for 200,000 coins. Plus the packs back, we actually might be looking at 100 to 150,000 coins. And again, when I saw his price initially at 450 or whatever, I'm like, this is just too expensive. It's too expensive. But now I think to myself, picking up this card as a starter or a sub, it doesn't help my defensive problems still, but it would be good to have him in the club. What I'll say though is that we've got 12 more days. We've got a whole bunch more rewards to come from all of this. That I can work towards getting him, or, you know, I don't really want to use a Handanovic in the SBC, but if it got me, if it got me the Reus and was usable, maybe I would, who knows. But that, guys, is going to be the end of the start of the video. Let's get into some gameplay. Okay, guys, as we go into the gameplay, the first opponent we come up against has got a 4-3-3 squad. Hazard, Sané, UCL, Pogba, Fabinho, Firmino, Sanchez and Van Dijk. This is the kind of team that I want, man. And I'm going to jump straight into that. I know we have been going on about my team, the strengths and the weaknesses a lot, right? I know we have. However, Drogpog put a comment in. It was one of the final comments for the video, but we'll address it first. He says, do not complain about your pack luck. Some of us haven't even packed an 86 plus and you've packed an icon. And whilst you're not wrong, I have packed an icon and lots of people haven't packed 86 pluses. It's all relative and relevant, right? So for me, if I was running a regular road to glory, I would have, if I sold everything that's not in my starting lineup right now, I would have well in excess of 1 million coins. With that 1 million coins, I would be able to go and buy myself Sergio Ramos, Thibaut Courtois, Marcelo or Jordi Alba, Kyle Walker. Maybe not Pogba and Kante, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'd definitely be able to go and get players like Fabinho and Roberto Firmino, and my team would just be considerably more well balanced, which would allow me to edge a few games, like the one that I just lost on screen there. I lost that 2-1 in a tight game against a good player. I feel like if I had that, you know, the back line that I just expressed, I would be in a much better position and I might have won that game. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, your point stands true that my pack luck generally has been great, but it's been great for attackers and not a lot else. I mean, on the flip side, I have packed Varane, who is obviously fantastic, and I've also got Oblak in the squad, and we've got Ederson. But I can't use those players without the other players, you know. So, you know, I don't want to continue going on about the same thing. But I really feel like I feel like there's always like some new viewers into the videos that don't understand or realise that this is a first owner road to glory and think that I choose this team. And so for those people, as we score a banger with Trezeguet there, for those people, I want you to know that if you wouldn't even hear me complain at all if I could just buy the players I wanted to play with. And then I know that there's some people here that go, well, it's your choice to do a first owner. I know it's my choice. And the whole point, as we actually talked about at the start of the video, the whole point was to make it more difficult. And upon making it more difficult, I just wish that people would understand that my frustrations aren't with anything other than the fact that I have chosen this path of making it more challenging and more difficult, and because of that, I'm going to get worse finishes for a longer period of time, and I might never catch up. You know, I might get stupidly unlucky forever and just be a gold 1, gold 2 player. I mean, I know we finished 21-21 so far, and on the back of today's results, I think we finished this video 16-4. So, you know, we're on a good course for Gold 1 again. But Gold 1 is not where I think I am or where I think I want to be. I believe I'm an elite player. Obviously, last year, for the first 10 weeks that we played for Champs, I got Gold 1 in week 1 because it was a regular road to glory. But as soon as I was able to upgrade my squad, I never got shorter than Elite 3. I got Elite 3, I think 3 times, Elite 2, I think 4 times and Elite 1 twice. And then I played the full weekend league 2 more times after Christmas and never played it again. And in those 2 more times that I played the full 40, I got Elite 3 both times. So, you know, I definitely think that I am an elite player based on the fact that I can comfortably get into Division 3 and up towards Division 2 3 weeks in a row. But in terms of pack luck, yeah, I've had some luck, no doubt about it. But I need a little more luck now, and it actually leads me into the first comment that I had, which was from Theo Paul, and it had a lot of thumbs up. It was the top comment on the video, and Theo says, "Yo, Nep, love the content. My only worry is if you don't pack the right players you need to improve the squad, then you will never upgrade players like Adan and Mendy. The last thing I want is for the series to become repetitive and frustrating, as everyone will be improving their squad, and for you not to be able to improve your squad. No matter what happens in the future, I always support your vids and content." And I appreciate the kind words, man. And yeah, that is a genuine concern, and that is actually something that I had considered, but hadn't really thought it would be this difficult to get the right kind of players. And what I mean by that is I knew that week on week I was going to rely on my pack luck to get the improvements, and you know, through FUT Rivals, through FUT Champs, and it was the addition of FUT Rivals that made me decide to do the first owner Road to Glory after we was on the fence about it. But yeah, through FUT Rivals and through FUT Champs and through squad battles, I decided to do the first owner Road to Glory. And, you know, you're seeing already, we're in week 3 of FUT Champs now, the teams are just generally getting better and better. And that over time, if I can't improve my team, that over time will mean that my results will continue to get worse and worse. And if that is the case, you know, if I'm sitting there with 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million coins, just waiting for the right SBC, that for me would be like kind of against what I wanted to happen, you know. That would me kind of be sitting there thinking like, well, you know, we're playing with the same team. Like I tell you something, if I've got the same team in another 2 weeks, if I'm still running Sané, De Bruyne, Lucas, Mahrez, Trezeguet as my attacking 5, and if I've still got Nacho, Adan and Varane as my trio in the back with Mendy and Juanfran, I will seriously consider changing back to the regular Road to Glory, if that's the case. That's obviously 2 weeks away yet. And, you know, again, I spoke about at the start of the video, I could do the Marco Reus SBC. I can afford to do it. It would cost me about 150 to 200,000 coins, excluding the items that I've got in the club. We could pack some good stuff and maybe it would go down and cost us 100k. And when I think of it like that, I think, wow, 100k plus some items in the club, that's a deal. That is, I should go and do that. But then I sit there and think, but why? I've got so many good attackers. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, you know, I don't know, man. I just need some luck. I need some luck for the right positions, or I need EA to start putting out defensive-minded SBCs. Other than Juanfran, we have had Royce and Hazard, which I understand are Player of the Month cards and not EA's decision. We have had the FUT Swap cards, which have been Lallana, Cam, Alcacer, a striker, El Shaarawy, a left wing, and Januzaj, a right wing. So they've given us 4 attacking players. If one of those cards was a defender, that would be amazing. Outside of that, you know, we've had a few other SBCs, Gelson Martins ones to watch, an attacker. Verdi one to watch through weekly objectives, an attacker. I'm hoping the 2 Screamer SBCs are defenders or a goalkeeper. I'm hoping that the what other SBC have we got coming? The next flashback defender or SBC is another defender. I'm hoping for that. I am hoping that when Champions League is back this week, I'm hoping that the UCL or Europa League SBC upgrade packs come back, because then I can actually spend 100, 150, 200,000 coins buying players, completing those like they upgrade SBC and improving my squad. And we've already seen that most of my squad, or some of my squad, you know, obviously Mahrez, De Bruyne and Sané, 3 of my players in the squad are UCL players. So if we can upgrade and improve via that method, that's great. So, you know, basically the game in terms of what it offers toward me, for me right now, is a little bit stale for SBCs. And because the packs only really come every Thursday, because I don't really play squad battles too hard. It's kind of, I'm just waiting at this point. And so, yeah, I don't mind. I like, at the end of the day, this is just a road to glory. I'm making it hard on myself. It's proving to be difficult, and that is entirely my choice. I hope that eventually I get to elite. What I don't want is, I don't want more and more people to start understanding the game and getting better and better. And then for me to be understanding the game well, but to be stuck with the same team and just me going like in a straight line and everybody else going up. And it will genuinely get to a point where goal 2 will be where I start finishing. It will just get harder and harder and harder each week. Off the back of that, we got Harry Longhurst says, "Hey Nep, what do you think about form in the weekend league? Personally, I think it isn't real. I started terrible this week and ended up on a -10 form, but we're still playing good players. I messaged one of them and he was 12-1, so plus 11 form. I don't see how matchmaking someone 21 form above me. Would love to hear your opinions and keep up the great series." Yeah, I mean, like form definitely exists, and I saw actually one of the guys that I love watching. Not sadly, but he's Austrian, and I'm talking about not Austrian, German. Ideals FIFA. I was watching Phil SKS earlier, and he did really, really well on his road to glory. But I was watching Ideals FIFA as well stream, and he went 30-0. And he tweeted out, glad to go 30-0, had really lucky matchmaking, but he wanted the 30 anyway. And I think that's the issue. I think a lot of the problem is, especially if you're outside the EU, matchmaking can just be devastating because it has to find someone within your proximity as a relative priority, right? I think they lend more priority to finding you a clean match than they do finding you a fair match. And I think that I would prefer it to be a fair match first. And if that means that I have to wait 3, 5, 8 minutes for a game, then so be it. So in your case, because -10 is a real anomaly, to go 0-10 or 1-11 or 2-12, you won't get many people on that skill set. So at that point, it has to expand the search, and it expands the search. And I can only assume, because of what I've seen and people in your own circumstance, I can only assume that at some stage, it just says all. Instead of going, so you're -10, instead of going looking for -5 and lower, and then looking 0 and lower, and then looking +5 and lower, I think eventually it just goes, all right, let's just open up the matchmaking and just find you a clean game. And yeah, I don't think that that's fair or that it should be the way it goes, but it has to find you someone. You know what I mean? It can't just give you no one. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. And then Leon DeLion, as our last comment, says, "Foot Champs is so much easier this year because anyone can qualify. Last year I'd get bronze and silver, now I'm getting gold, and I haven't comfortably lost a game yet after 20 games, whereas last year I get smacked in at least half my games. Do you think that's a positive thing, anyone can qualify?" Yeah, and on the contrary to what we've just been talking about, I think the more the weeks go on, the more people qualify, the easier it will get for people in your position. For people that are in, that were getting bronze and silver last year, it will get easier and easier and easier for you because of the form system. There will be so many more players around that form that you'll end up getting considerably more fair matchups, which will help you a lot. However, for people that go up to the elite standard, there are far more elite tier players playing. I don't know if there are far more elite tier players. Theoretically, it should be easier for everyone because there are more people. But theory isn't always the case. And yeah, I even considered for myself that it should get easier in terms of matchmaking for me because there are more and more and more people getting in. So more people flooding, more people getting better records that aren't great, playing each other, going up, and then coming up against a great player. But again, that's where matchmaking luck comes into consideration. Because I could get somebody right now, I think I'm right now, what am I, 17-5, right? I'm 17-5, not really a collapse. I'm playing some good players with good teams and it's quite tough. But at 17-5 for me, my elo is +12. So I could get someone who is also 17-5 that was a gold 3 player last year and isn't very good, but has just benefited from the fact that there are a lot of new people in the game, and that could be an easy game for me to go to 18-5. Alternatively, and this is where I struggle a lot, is because I seem to always fall on the unfavourable side of me getting the plus 15 guys. So I'm getting the guys that are 20-5 or 23-2, or as per last week, 27-1. You know, what was I? I was 20-7, 21-7 I was, and I needed to win the next game and the next game to get elite, and for my 29th game I came up against a guy 27-1, and that's tough. That's really tough. So theory suggests that it should get easier and easier and easier, and the better of a player you are, the better chance you get of coming up against a worse player that's just having favourable luck because there are more players in FUT Champs. But in practice, I still seem to be coming up against super players. Like a couple of the losses here today, I've lost 5 games now. I definitely think 2 of those games or 3 of those games I could have won in the game. And in fact, the game that you're watching on screen, well, the game that's still on the screen right now, is a game that I lost 6-2 that I didn't feel like I was outclassed in at all. But Adan just lets me down a lot. Adan is terrible. Initially, again, week 1 it was fine, because week 1 I was coming up against Jamie Vardy's, and I can't even think off the top of my head, but I was coming up against like low rate strikers that didn't have great finishing, so required skilled finishers to score the goals. Now I'm coming up against Lukaku's and Ronaldo's and Mbappe's and Neymar's and all of these top tier players constantly that have great shooting stats that just render Adan utterly useless. You know, as soon as they come up against a guy with a really strong attack, you know, an attack in many regards as good as mine, I sit here and think, like, even if this guy is an average player, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble here because he's just going to score goals. You know, and that again is a product of the Road to Glory style that we're running, that I hope to rectify with this week's rewards. But anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.